Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Michigan Ultimate Survivor League podcast for week 7/8. 7's in the books, 8's coming up. It is I, James L. Seagraves, coming to you again from the basement. Still feeling terrible, by the way. Never getting rid of this. Jeff Arbogast said he had it for multiple weeks. I feel like I'm going to be in that same boat, unfortunately. The stupid camera will not stop autofocusing. What? It's not because I'm shaking my legs, Cassandra. Anyway, another week's in the books. We got a lot to go over today, so we're going to cut right to it. If you look at that, look at the bottom line over here. Part of it's cut off by my big head. Yeah, I can move it up and down if I want to, but I won't. Anyway, that last thing says super squares. Move it down here. There we go. Anyway, you're going to hear that again. I apologize. 3 straight weeks of throat clearing. It's been fun. Haven't got a good night's sleep in God knows how long. Anyway, we're going to go straight to... Where are we going to straight, Cassandra? Do you know? I don't even know where we're going here.
I don't even know.
Oh, yes. How could I forget? Winless Watch. As you know, going into this week, we had Super Original and Tips and Tricks both winless this week. Let's see if anyone changed. Oh, Tips and Tricks still did not get a win, but that does mean, folks, that Super Original, congratulations to you. Get on the win board finally with a win this week. Don't know who you played. Here's your lineup, though. This is the lineup that got it done. Jimmy G, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs with a monster week. Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, Gerald Everett, Jason Myers, and the Patriots defense, which a lot of people started, including myself, who got their ass handed to them last night, by the way. Who was the unlucky one? Maulin Incorporated falls to Super Original. Paul Ward falls to 4-3. Still a respectable record, but unfortunately he has that stigma of allowing Super Original to win their first game. Now, if you look at the schedule here, they have the Dublin Drunks coming up and FarmersOnly.com. This guy could go on a 3-game win streak, folks. Neither of those teams having a good year. Anyway, Tips and Tricks. Dominic Mulkey, we love you. Puts in a lineup every week, just can't get the win down, man. So we'll see how that goes. That's your win. That's your winless watch. Going through here, I didn't even shit brown these guys because I'm tired of piling up on them. But Watson, Spa, and Masseuse, horrible year for you. Brad Van Camp, hey, file a missing persons report, a.k.a. run it back. He changed his name because his lineup's missing in action, but not really. He shows up, they don't perform. Hockenstein, what a disappointing year for you. Super Original, you're a winner this week, and I appreciate it. The Dublin Drunks, Jeff Arbogast, he made a comment, it's like, I'm in the bottom 10 all year. What a horrible year. It's true. I'll take your money. That little wink face moving up in the world has only amassed 359 points, but he got a win this week. Rocky Keeling down here in the bottom 10 for the first time, and then Giggle. I mean, we have some quality owners down here, guys. Just told you, you never know what's going to happen in this league. Who would have thought Rocky Keeling, Michael Myers, Jeff Arbogast, I mean, all these guys, Tom Farmer especially, we'd be down here in the bottom 10, but that's why you play the game. Looking through on the way to the top 25, any big drops? Maulin Incorporated falls to Super Original, as we mentioned, down from number 25 to number 40. Ketchman Mostert got beat by me, I believe, right? Yeah, he put up just a abysmal lineup. I don't know what you were thinking. I know I suck, but not that bad. Young Bubba's Players falls out 25. Savage FC out. Brady O'Bush out. Then we get to the top 25. Patriots lose, but hang on, barely. I mean, they lost last night worse than they lost in the MUSL, I think. From 14 to 25. Digger Phelps loses, falls from 17 to 24. You feeling lucky, punk? Falls from 15 to 23. Aching for a ship. Watch out, the man's on a 3-game win streak up to number 22. Low-hanging fruit. Up from out of ranked to number 21 on a 2-game win streak. New Orleans Rock Chucks. The computer problems have been solved down in New Orleans, folks. He had multiple weeks where he had issues getting the lineup in. Apparently, those issues are solved, and he is now on a 2-game win streak back up in the top 25 where most would believe he belongs. Mama G out of retirement. She's on a 3-game win streak as well. Representing that family very well. We knew she was the one to beat, and she is coming back strong. 3-game win streak. tie her up and lock it down after getting randomized last week. Unfortunately, he comes back with a win. He won last week too, by the way, but 3-game win streak there, making him 5-2. I believe he was randomized last week. I don't know. I'm on so many meds, I don't even know what's happening. What year is this? CD's nuts. Wins from up to number 23 to number 17. Cheechki, 24-16. DeWyans loses. Gary King falls from 10 to 15. Paul, don't call him just Wall. Wall and Wine, that is. He's not a white rapper, although he probably could be. He's got swag. He's up from 22 to 14 with a 4-game win streak for him. The Black Hole on a 3-game win streak from 16 to 13. The Apache Chiefs, they like to stay put at 12. They won and stayed right where they were at 12. Don't pull a Sarah Krasansky and stay there 2 weeks in a row, then fall. Malcolm Rodriguez in the middle of my thighs loses again. This time she did put a lineup in. She's sitting behind me crying. 7 down to 11. So still in the top 11, not the top 10. Top 10 goes to Poe Swag, Cassandra's arch nemesis. Bonnie Monahan losing 2 in a row, though. Both these teams were defeated 2 weeks ago. They both lost 2 in a row. Tallywhackers. 3-game win streak here. 5-2 for him, up from number 13 to number 9. Bleeding Blue Bombers loses their first game of the year. I don't know who they fell to, but they fall from number 4 to number 8. Cloacal Kiss, don't look now, folks, but the defending champion is 6-1, going up from number 11 to number 7. Tenacious D, they lose, but unfortunately Cassandra cannot win and basically make that a tie, even though they have the tie. Well, they haven't played each other yet, have they? No. Tenacious D. So even though they lost, they still are top of that division, I believe. Maybe? Yes?
Yeah.
No, they're not. Yeah, they are, because you lost again. That's right.
Yeah, rub it in.
Show me them TDs. Up from number 8 to number 5, a 4-game win streak, 6-1. That's a chunky back in the winning department after losing last week. Wins this week. Up from number 9 to number 4. Chop it off. It'll make you stunning and brave. Twilight Zone reality, folks. Up from number 6 to number 3. That means we have 2 undefeated teams. Sag Nasty's notch above top notch with a staggering 522 points. Still 7-0. Hey, that's if you can.
Is that Ben?
That's Ben. That is Ben. Ben Miller. 7-0 with 522. That could be the perfect combination, folks. Because if you don't score a lot of points, there's a good chance that you're not really using that great of players. And if you can still be undefeated, look out for that down the road. And then the new number 1 team in the nation is. It seems to be a curse all year. Only one team has won while in the number 1 spot. It is Alada Velada, who is on an island down there in whatever conference he's in, way above everybody. He can almost start benching people already, but not quite. We'll talk about that here in a minute. We did go out of order here on this thing here, and there's a reason for that, because I want to take a special moment here, because I was already on that screen, so I want to do a special moment and give a shout out to none other than Joe Buck Yourself. Okay, this is Jordan Craig. He was at the bottom of the barrel for most of the year. Got mercilessly not made fun of, but mercilessly was brought up as being in the bottom 1 or 2 spots. And I tell the guy, this guy shows. Jordan Craig watches these podcasts. I'm sure he does, because I straight up said, yo, now's the time. You got to start submitting super lineups, because you're not going to make it in based on record. You got to get in on points. And let me just show you something. He gets a special shout out because this man took my advice to heart. Trust me, when you look at the schedule, check this out.
Nobody should take your advice.
Yes, they should take my advice. The last 2 out of 3 weeks, Joe Buck Yourself has put up some insane numbers here. Look at this. Okay, taking on Alshon Jeffrey. Didn't kill himself, although he might have after this game when he lost to Joe Buck Yourself. He's still alive, I think. I think he's still kicking around. 117 points 3 weeks ago, I guess now at this point. And I didn't even make a note of it then, because I probably just kind of filtered through. Scoring 117 points is a lot. Scoring 117 points when you haven't really ever won a game, that's a lot better after being at the bottom of the barrel for all that time. And then this week he scored 101 points and knocked off the Patriots. So Joe Buck Yourself definitely turning the season around. He's in the fight. He will be in the fight when it comes down to it for points, I hope, because remember, several seeds of the playoffs go to teams with the most points after the record teams are taken out. So if you have a good record, you're already in the playoffs. You are obviously not in the playoff hunt for the point seeds. So Joe Buck yourself. You get a special recognition. Congratulations to Mr. Craig. Even though you've only won 2 games this year, you've done it in great fashion. And I know that you're throwing caution to the wind to try to get those points. And I commend you for your efforts, sir. Well done. And now we're going to look at a closer look. This is a new thing we're doing here. Now, if you look at these standings, more importantly, you take a closer look at the standings. Again, the main column you want to worry about is this win-loss column over here, okay? You see this right here? These numbers over here, they help show you where you're at. But, I mean, as you can see, sometimes you get down here like your mother likes my defense is up above you, Theo and Lucky. But that just means they've won tiebreakers. But what you got to start paying attention to, taking a closer look at, if you will, is this. I'm going to hit the standings button. Hit the standings button, a lot more stuff comes up. Okay? And what you really want to look at here is your points for, because we have 4 games left. 4. I don't know if I can get all 4 of those fingers in there. All right. That's what I said a couple nights ago, right? Anyway. I'm sorry. And anyway, points for, you got, this is a big here, okay? Because what made me want to take a closer look is when you scroll down here, I want to go down to, where are we at here? It's going to be, of course, it is the one thing that you cannot see on your screen. That's funny. I'm going to move it up here temporarily. Steel City Sackers, okay? Steel City Sackers. And also, I mean, Hockenstein. Look at the, no wait, not Hockenstein, sorry. I was looking at points against for him. Steel City Sackers are 2-5, but they've scored 553 points. Now you talk about some bad luck. Holy shit. Okay, I just want to say, look at the numbers. You can look right here. 553 points is more points than anyone in the Napoleon Dynamite Conference, including the undefeated Alada. He's got 553 points scored and he's won 2 games. Dustin Hanson, you deserve something better than this. You have outscored your entire conference, yet you're at the bottom. And that is why we have our seeds set up the way they are. You know, I mean, you have to scroll up to get to Mama G out of retirement here, 574, okay? Now, what I want you to look at here, the reason this is called a closer look is I'm showing you the standings column. And over here in this far right column, right here, it's points back. That is points back from the number 1 scoring team in the league, folks. Okay? Which I believe at this point would be, let's see who it is, who has 0 here in this column. Tallywhackers. They have 623 points scored. They are 5-2. Okay? This points back column becomes very important because, like I said, at the end of the year, multiple teams get in based on points. So you're telling me that Steel City Sackers, a team that is 2-5, dead last in their conference, is 69 points from the top scoring team in the league. What a difference. This is why this league is different than any other league. And I always say, it's like the damn NCAA tournament. You want to know a lot about football, yes, but there's a lot of luck involved. And on the flip side of that, there's a lot of bad luck involved. And Dustin Hanson has had some bad luck, people. He has to. I want to look at this. I'm going to look at this schedule. I'm going to look at his shit and see. Steel City Sackers scored 71 points and lost. Steel City Sackers scored 71 points and lost. Steel City Sackers scored 77 points and lost. Steel City Sackers scored 68 points and lost. Steel City Sackers scored 145 points and won. 74 points and won. 65 points and lost. Now, 65 isn't that great of a score. But multiple times this dude scored over 70 and lost. Now, that is Bad luck. Look at this. Lost by 2.5 points. 3 points. Whatever that one is. This is crazy. Absolute madness. And if we go here, I'm going to do one more thing here with this. We're going to sort this by column F. Data, sort range, blah, blah, blah. Column F. There is no fucking title, you cock. This is basically where we're at here. Okay, this is sorted by points scored. There's no label, but that's this column right here is. So you got Tallywhackers, Postwag, Malcolm Rodriguez, third in the scoring, by the way. I know I'm great, she says. Wow, very modest of you, Cassandra. The Apache Chiefs. You know, we just got to do one of these things here somewhere. Oh, well, there it is. We had to do it once. The Apache Chiefs, number 12. Fourth in the league. Now, look right here. You see, God, I forgot how long this thing is. Every time it happens. Okay, that's enough. Okay, man, I thought it was going to go even. I think every time I play that, it gets longer, by the way. It's like Pinocchio when he tells a lie. Anyway, if you notice, the dark yellow, a.k.a. the gold. You can't really replicate gold on a screen, by the way. That's the top 10. The lighter yellow is top 25. The white are people who are not ranked. As you can see here, Steel City Sackers, 553. Fly Eagles Fly, 542. Lick It Before You Stick It, 541. Hitting Rugs, 533. Christian's Weapons and Master Strokes, 531. Squadrils, 530. I mean, you have some tight-knit people down here at the bottom, down here, okay? Now, yes, there are 4 weeks to go, but you got to start looking at this. It's very important. Now, most of these teams are going to be 4-3 that are in this area, but there are some, a.k.a. Steel City Sackers, 2-5. And he scored the 10th most points in the league. If this league were to end today, you bet your ass he'd be in the playoffs. As would Fly Eagles Fly. Well, maybe not. Some of these 4-3 teams might not be there, but nevertheless, that's that. And I just wanted to show you that because that is a big deal, and it's worth pointing out that Dustin Hanson has had just horrendous luck, and yeah, craziness. A lot of 535 points is number 1 in the league. You know, Dustin Hanson has more points than him. You know, that's crazy. Anyways, we're going to look at the randomizers this week. There are only 2. Can You Digs It and the RV guy. Now, if you remember, was it last week we did Yard Sale Palooza? A week ago, yes? Yeah, 1 week ago Sunday. Week 6, I had said I was so busy with the Yard Sale Palooza, I didn't really even pay attention to who got randomized. There's a lot of people who got randomized week 6, including my entire family except for myself. And I warned them to submit a lineup before we left. But, and I said, well, we're not counting that. But I will say this, okay? The RV guy, Jason Wright, was randomized in week 5. I know for a fact he was randomized in week 6. And now he's been randomized in week 7, okay? That is 3 straight weeks. You get randomized 3 times, period. You're going to get your team stripped from you because there are people, I have multiple people who want other teams, additional teams, new owners who have heard about this league who want in. And we just can't have owners be deadbeats. Jason Wright's a stand-up guy. He's a busy guy. Maybe he's too busy for this league. Nevertheless, I haven't even told him this because if he doesn't have the time to submit a lineup, he probably doesn't have I'm not going to give him the time to tell him. Maybe one day he'll try to log in and realize he doesn't have his team. But make no mistake, if you get randomized multiple times, 3 weeks in a row, we will find someone to take your team. And we already have found someone to take that team. Now, I've had multiple people contact me about taking over a second team if another one gets abandoned. Now, there is a list at this point. And we work down that list. So, and if we have a point blank, if we have a new owner who wants in, which we just had one last night, find out about this league and was asking me about it. New owners will take precedent over teams getting a second team, though, just so you know. So the next person that gets abandoned will be given to a kid named John Zemer, who we long time ago, he was a customer of mine at Empire Entertainment, and we ran into him on the soccer field every week. So, well, we didn't actually run into him, but we saw him and chatted with him. Anyway, the RV has left the station, the campground, the league. See you later. It was a good 3-4 week run. You put in a lineup, and then you abandon your team. So, good riddance, you know. I mean, that's what I got to say. Now, if you look at this next thing, playoff picture, question mark. That's because we can't really see a lot. Who the hell texted me here? Oh, yeah.
Your dad?
No, I don't know. Playoff picture. Nothing is official yet. There's still 4 games. A lot can happen. But we can start to kind of see where we're at. Now, let's look at the Jeff Lebowski conference. Obviously, Colloquial Kiss. Colloquial Kiss has the best chance here. They're 6-1. She's the defending champion. 2-game win streak. But Postwag, Cheech, I mean, these are all long... oh, my God. Long-time owners who routinely are in the hunt. Pat Provost here. Patrick McNamara. Jesus. Too many Pats in the world. 4-3. And then Ketchup and Mostert. Alex Erickson, who is, 4-3. I don't know what they were thinking with their lineup this week against me. It was a disaster. And this is against me. I never win hardly. Although I did win this week. So anyway, Colloquial Kiss. I'm looking at their schedule here. They still have to play Ketchup and Mostert this week. Put in a better lineup this week, kid. Garrity's Gigolos, Death Before Designer, and Devastation Incorporated. She is closing the year out against a 4-3 team, 3-4 team, 2-5 team, and a 2-5 team. So, you talk about the playoff picture. Now, again, these other teams could get desperate. They could go pull a Joe Buck yourself, which they should do, by the way, and throw out super lineups. They have to do it. So, her, even though she's playing teams that do not have good records, that does not mean anything, really. Unless, of course, they don't pay attention to these podcasts and not do this. So, and then we have Postwag. Love that picture. Yep. What a handsome lad. She still has to play Conservatism is the New Counterculture, 3-4. Providence Power, 3-4. Savage FC, 4-3. And then, most importantly, Cheechki. In the final game of the week, these two played, of the year, I should say, these two will play each other. So, Cheechki, we know something similar here, probably. You're going to be having a similar... You have Death Before Designer, Air Allen, Tim Allen, Ray Allen, losing by 50, Gary's Jiggles, and then Cheechki. So you have an easier route, no doubt, than Postwag has. Because Postwag has multiple formidable owners. But, I mean... you don't really know because the teams that are losing might throw super lineups up. Then we got the Kirk Lazarus Conference, which has Tallywhackers. I should probably put this back where it's supposed to be. Right there. Tallywhackers and CD's Nuts, 5-2. Both 5-2. Looking at the schedule ahead, there's 4 weeks to go. They play each other in the final week too. Oh man, that's gonna be good. Hoodrich Honky, 2-5. File and Missing Person Report, 1-6. Golf and Balls, 4-3. And then, of course, CD's Nuts the final week. If they keep things going, that'll be a huge showdown. CD's Nuts, their schedule remaining. Password is Taco, Chark Attack, Your Mother Likes with Defense, and Tallywhackers. Much tougher. Password is Taco has won this league before, folks. Chark Attack, Eric Minturn. He didn't submit a lineup 1 week, and he felt really bad about it. Your Mother Likes My Defense has also won this league before. And then Tallywhackers, number 9. So, woo! CD's Nuts has a much harder road to get in there, but that's why you play the game, And then there's a slew of 4-3 teams who are still in the hunt here, including Your Mother Likes My Defense, and Password is Taco, Golf and Balls, You're in Trouble, and You Feeling Lucky Punk. This is Alan Harvey, Brian David, Kyle Stoker, Christopher Russell, and Dom Valenti. These are all formidable owners who are all in the hunt here towards the end. And then even the 3 and 4 teams are not completely eliminated out of here, although when you factor in that these two teams play each other still, it's a stretch. Fly Eagles, Fly Squadrons, and Shark Attack. Again, Hoodrich Honky and File Missing Person Report. You gotta pull a Joe Buck and start throwing out lineups, man, because you're going to have to. You have no chance otherwise. You need to get wins. You need to get points. I want to stress it again. Points get in. There's the lottery where you get one ticket for every win you get. This podcast is way longer than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to have to pick up the pace here a little bit. Ron Burgundy Conference 6-1, and then several 4. Look at the 4-3 teams in this conference. Holy crap! Chop it off. We're just going to look at your schedule because there's too many 4-3 teams to go over. I didn't realize how long this has gone. Playing the New Orleans Rock Chucks, Can You Digs It? Christians, Weapons of Mass Destruction, Young Bubba's players. Both of these teams have been ranked. New Orleans Rock Chucks are currently ranked. So there's that. Now, next time we'll do a more in-depth playoff breakdown and not do some of these other things. Frank Drebin, you got 6-1, 2 5-2s, 3 4-3s. Brody Bruce, you got 6-1, 2 5-2s. Show me them TDs, the Wines, tie her up and lock it down, and several 4-3s. Still locking up there. This conference, a little bit more distance here. Sag Nasty and Bleeding Blue Bombers, 7-0 and 6-1. Sag Nasty's schedule coming up. Mama G out of retirement and Bleeding Blue Bombers, the back-to-back weeks. If he wins those games, it's over. Just so you know, they will not be coming back from that. If Sag Nasty wins the next 2 games, I mean, I have Sag Nasty ranked as number 1. They're supposed to be number 2, by the way. I don't know why it says they're number 1. I will fix that. It's an error. It's early. And then a lot of 7-0 has a 3-game win, has a 3-game lead with 4 games to go. That's bad. Especially if you look at who he's playing. If he's playing teams that are not 4-3, Play with Mike Gitka's 4-3, Clockwork Elves 3-4, Muckers 4-3, Lakers 3-4. So, it's bad news for the league, folks, right there. Because half of those teams are 3-4. I mean, I guess he could lose all 4, I guess, but it's very unlikely he's going to lose all 4. But if he does, anything could happen. He basically needs to win 2 games to guarantee it. 1 game, it'll probably be fine. But he's got a 3-game lead with 4 games to go. It would be the epic collapse if Chris Villada, Vincent Villada, I like to call him Chris still, if he collapsed and fell. Now, I will say this, play with Mike Ditka, 3-game win streak. You're on a roll, man. Week 8 preview, we're not even going to do it. Yeah, we will. Whatever. Fuck it. If you watch for 27 minutes, you're going to watch for 30 minutes. That's the way I like to say it. Oh, man. Hopefully next week I won't be sick, but I doubt it. Okay, so here's where we're looking. We're just going to be quick and see what the ranked matchups are. Chop it off. It'll make you Stunning and Brave taking on 23 versus 20. That's a huge game, obviously. The Black Hole takes on That's a Chunky as 13 takes on 4. That's another massive game. That's the game of the week. DeWians taking on 15. DeWians taking on 5. Show me your TDs. And then, of course, Sag Nasty's notch above top notch is actually number 2. I don't know why it says number 1 here. But Mama G out of retirement taking on Sag Nasty. They're both undefeated, though. Both 1 and 2 were undefeated. So that's probably the game of the week. Mama G out of retirement taking on Sag Nasty, even though the rankings are 19-2 versus 5-15. But then a lot of plays play with Mike Ditka. That's a make or break game right there, I think, in my opinion, because play with Mike Ditka is one of the few teams that can actually take him off the throne. And if he loses to a lot of this week, it's pretty much over, I think. Honestly, it's my opinion, not mathematically proven by any stretch, but he's got a 3-game lead with 4 games to go, and he's playing his top opponent this week. So that's something. Going to Super Squares before we leave here. This week's category was, I already posted this on my personal Facebook, but still, this week's category was wide receiver with the most yards for each conference, right? And Chris Oil of Olave, my new nickname I've created for him, from the Saints, who have no quarterback, by the way, Andy Dalton, I guess, led the NFC with 106 receiving yards. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy that this no-name scrub would lead with that few yards, the NFC. Whatever. But like I said in my Facebook post, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown. Those 3 guys run buys, so it makes it easier for someone to step up and win. Fortunately, Amon-Ra St. Brown definitely was not him because he went out in the first quarter.
That's why I lost.
But that's why you lost, Cassandra says. And then on the other end, the Bengals, they put up a clinic of offense. 483 yards for Joe Burrow. 155 of those went to Tyler Boyd, which made him the #1 receiver for the AFC, which means that Steve Densmore, right here, he's not even in this league, but he might be next year. He did participate in the squares. He's the winner this week. Congratulations to you. The irony is, this next week, the category is tight ends with the most receiving yards, and look who has a bye. The Chiefs have a bye this week. So if you have the Chiefs square and you're looking forward to this week, sorry, you'll have to wait till week 17 to try to come back and get it with Travis Kelce. Anyway, that's it. Hope you have a wonderful day. Be good to each other. I'm out.